Alright, welcome to our first capstone project. We're going to put together everything that we have learned so far. We're going to set up our development environment with script tags. We're going to create components. We're going to create our styling within components to make them highly composable and shareable. We're going to create a couple complex components allowing us to begin to share our components. Let's go ahead and take a look at our finished project and break this down into components. We're going to create a static, complex component for the latest social media craze called FriendLY. We have an avatar icon, a place for a username, and then ways to like, share, or add a person to your account. As this is static at this point, we won't actually be doing any of those things, but we'll start to demonstrate the power of building with components. Making decisions about how to break down a prototype into components is half art and half science. You can choose to break this down a number of different ways different than I do, and that's fine. There will always be questions of do we also build from top down, styling our container component first, or bottom up, starting with some of the smallest components first. Again, those decisions will be part science, part art. This example is simple enough that there really is no way to do this the wrong kind of way. Here is how I would break this down. I would say that we have an outermost component, we'll call it FriendLY, that will contain all of our components. So within that component, we'll have an avatar component for the user image, and we'll also have a username component. Then we'll have another getConnected component. This will be a complex component itself that will hold a like component, share component, and add component. This is where we start to tap into the magic of React components. We can pass them around. Obviously, for a static project like this, we aren't harnessing the full power of React, and there still are simpler ways to build this with regular HTML and CSS with no JavaScript or React needed. But React is going to give us the tools and abilities to do much more with much less as we move throughout our course. Now, let's head into our code and we'll begin by creating a new folder. We'll call this Capstone Project 1. We'll go ahead and put in an individual file that all of our code will go into. We'll name this index.html. We'll move quickly through getting our boilerplate set up. Now, we'll go to the title tag in the head and name this FriendLY. Next, we'll need to get our script tags for React, React DOM, and Babel. I'm just going to go to our section 1 folder and grab that code. Alright, we have all the metadata we need to start reading the JSX in React and ECMAScript 2015 and beyond. Now, let's go into our body and set up what we want our browser to interpret. I'll set up our div announcing that React has not rendered yet. Then we'll go ahead and give this div an ID of app, targeting where we want to insert our React into the DOM. Lastly, let's put in our script tag. We'll set its type to text Babel. Alright, we're all set. Let's do this. First, let's create our React DOM.render method. We're going to pass for our first argument our React content. This will be our FriendLY component that will contain all of the components within it. This complex component is going to contain all of the other components we discussed creating as we looked at our prototype at the beginning of this lesson. Our second argument is going to be the location in the DOM where we want our React content to render. In this case, the div with an ID of app. Next, we'll go ahead and comment within our script tag the components we're going to build out. Let's take a quick look at the finished product. Again, we'll want to create our friendly component, avatar component, username component, get connected component, and within that component, we'll create a component for like, share, and add. Let's put these comments in our code. Within our script tag, we'll type in our friendly complex component, next, we'll go ahead and put a comment in for our avatar component. Following that, we'll go ahead and create our username component. Next, our getConnected component, which will be a complex component that will contain our like component, also our share component, and lastly, our add component. Alright, that's it for this lesson. We're all set to begin recreating our prototype. I'll see you in the next lesson.